What's up, everyone? You know what day it is. It's time for your next video with your host, that Wounded Warrior guy. That's me. And today, just like every other Freedom Friday, we're joined by my wife and partner in life, Abigail. And we are going to share with you guys today a little bit about how me and this beautiful lady here met each other, the circumstances that had happened, and the unconventional way that we tied the knot.
Yeah. Are we gonna go into the way we met?
Sure, why not?
Oh, well, that's quite the story. Actually, it's the most random of all things. Had certain things not happened in my life and certain things not happened in his life, there is absolutely no way that we would have met except for going out that night that we met.
Yeah, definitely the positive surrounding a very terrible circumstance. At least for me, with my injury, had I not gotten injured, I wouldn't have been sent to DC. Had I not went to DC, I never would have met her because that's where she was staying at the time. So, just to keep it
Had your
short.
friends talked you into staying and playing pool on base? Had you not
Yeah.
gone on your own? Because I mean, the night that we met was the first time that you left base by yourself at all.
So it was the first time that. So you guys know that I have like some social issues that I'm, dealing with, and that's like the main goal of my therapy is to allow me to be able to interact with people that maybe I haven't interacted with or I have before and I got uncomfortable. So I was that was in the early stages of that. I hadn't really figured out, what I was dealing with at that point. So basically, I knew that I was getting uncomfortable, but I thought it was just like a normal, I hadn't been out in a while type thing. I need to start going out more, and those fears would go away. And well, they never did, and so now we're dealing with it in therapy. But I was at DC, I was at Walter Reed, and up until that point, the only time I'd went out was with a few soldiers that were on base. We would go out, we would play pool, or we would play pool on base. And so I just randomly messaged a few of the guys, and I was like, "Hey, I just got up, randomly got a thought in my head. I want to go out. I want to, go get a couple drinks." So I got ready, messaged them. Nobody wanted to go out. Nobody wanted to do anything. And I was sitting on the bed and I was thinking, man, should I just stay in and just not go anywhere? I said, no, screw it. I went out anyway. And I ran into, what was his name? Chris? Chris. So I ran into this guy, Chris, at Atomic Billiards on
Connecticut. It's in Cleveland Park.
Cleveland Park. Okay, so it was a pool hall, or really just a bar with a couple pool tables. So go in there. I meet up with Chris. Chris had literally just gotten turned down by this girl at the bar. He turned over to me. He was like, "Hey, man, can I buy you a drink?" Just start a conversation. Started a conversation, and then that led into me and him going outside. Or no.
Yeah, you guys went outside for a smoke break.
Yep, and that was back whenever I was still smoking. I have since quit for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But so we went outside, came back in. We were actually talking. He wanted to go to a different bar, and I think that this was right at the same time that we had struck up a conversation.
Yeah, we had started talking when they were outside on their smoke break. My friend Dee was with us, and so I had gone upstairs with Dee, and so the four of us were outside talking, and then we came back in.
Yeah.
And I've been with this man ever since.
Yeah, and so basically. Chris, so the whole reason why we even like noticed Abigail and Dee was Chris was like, "Hey, you see that blonde over there? She's kind of cute. I'm gonna go talk to her. You should talk to the other girl." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go over there and I'll talk to her. She's pretty. I'll go talk to her. I'll see. I'll see what happens." Went over, bought her a drink. It actually turned out that Dee was with somebody.
Yeah.
And then I ended up talking to Abigail, bought some drinks, and we just hit it off, and we've been inseparable ever since.
And the whole reason that I was there is thanks to my colleagues at the place that I was working. We had the holiday party the next day, and we were doing a murder mystery, and we had sent out, well, my colleague who had kind of organized the murder mystery thing had sent out everybody's part, and everybody was upset about the part that they got because they were upset. They thought that our assigning roles had something to do with the way that we saw the person rather than seeing the person's ability to play that role. And so I'd had the last hour and a half that I was at work was spent trying to convince everybody involved, like, let's just let everybody sleep on it. Let's see how people feel tomorrow morning. By the time I finally got everybody calmed down enough, I was just like, you know what? I don't want to work. I'll catch up on this later. Hey, D, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So went out. D and I actually were at a different bar to begin with. And then I was like, okay, hold on. Like, if I'm going to be the third wheel, we got to go somewhere where I can do something. And so
yeah, and
that was why I was there.
It's so crazy because, you know, it was it was a lot of random things that happened that got her to that bar, and it was a lot of random things that happened that got me to that bar because I was about to leave, and she had just like gotten there, and it's crazy how many things lined up in order for us to meet that night and everything.
And then 3 months later, we decided to get married.
Yep.
Which is another story all in itself.
Yep.
The next day after that, we realized that, yep, we do still want to do this. And so got the appointment with the marriage license. And so on May 10 of 2019, at 3:30 in the afternoon in the DC County Courthouse, the DC Courthouse.
Yeah.
We got married by a justice of the peace. It was just the two of us. 6 weeks later, we told my parents.
And it was like 9 months later.
Seven.
Yeah.
It was 7 months later that we told his family.
Yeah, told them at Christmas. And honestly, I thought that my sister knew, and she absolutely did not know. So
I mean, I spilled the beans the day before and almost burst into tears immediately because I felt honestly so bad that I ruined it.
I thought for some reason, like I just kind of thought that people knew.
Your mom says she knew, and your mom is.
Yeah, my dad was
totally surprised,
taken off guard for sure. But yeah, no, and I mean, definitely, like, if you're going to take something from that story, just know that even if you've had a terrible day at work, even if you've experienced like just some unfortunate, I guess, if you look at it as being unfair circumstances, just know that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. There is always a purpose behind the things that happen to us.
You got to keep getting up, keep finding and creating that purpose.
Yeah, and if you're sitting at the edge of your bed and you're contemplating whether or not you should go out, take my word, go out, roll the dice, because you might meet the woman that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But
don't expect it every time.
Not every time. But still take those chances.
Take the chance. Take the risk.
So because I am cutting and because I just think I need a break from the whiskey, I am going to be boring. I'm going to drink a Truly tonight. Sorry, guys.
I'm still sticking with my rum.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like 9 out of 10 times you stay to the same thing. It's either that or it's cider, or you did do an amaretto sour the other day.
Yeah, I did an amaretto sour the other day.
But I think as soon as you drank the one, you was like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, when I first turned 21, I really liked amaretto sours. And I still like the really sugary drinks, but I like my amaretto in diet now. It's good that way. Okay. First question.
I think we're probably only going to do 2 questions tonight, just because we had story time. What happens regularly that would horrify a person from 100 years ago? 100 years ago? I think television would be pretty terrifying.
Probably. I think, I don't know.
Okay. 100 years ago, taking somebody putting them in a small size sedan and putting them on Interstate 4. Yeah. That would be, I mean, it's terrifying now. Do it 100 years ago, I mean, instant heart attack, I feel
I'd say
like.
interstates just
Yeah, just in general. Yeah. Just any interstate in the United States, put them in a small size sedan, tell them to merge a few times, and they're probably going to have a stroke.
That 275 I-4 interchange,
Mm-hmm.
terrifying.
Yeah, what do you think?
So everything that I'm thinking about is political, and I know that we try to stay away from the political as much as possible. So I may have to pass on this one and come back.
Okay, well, we can revise it at the end.
I mean, maybe just the fact that like I carry a computer around in my pocket that anytime I want to talk to my mom, all I have to do is pull this out and hit a couple buttons, and there's my mom.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. How long have you been getting, like, how long have colonoscopies been a thing?
Oh, geez. Okay, we're not going there.
Well, I'm just saying, was that a thing 100 years ago? I don't know.
I don't know.
Take somebody 100 years ago, and you bring them back today, and you're like, you get to have a colonoscopy, sir. That'd be terrifying.
I like this next question.
Okay.
You have to relive one day of your life forever. Which day do you choose?
Ooh. One day of my life forever. I would have to say when I got back from Arkansas, that like night in that we had. Yeah, that day and then that Saturday. Can't remember exactly. What did we do the next day? Because didn't I get back and wasn't it like a Friday night that we stayed at your place? And then Saturday, didn't we go do something? Didn't we do like brunch or something?
Maybe.
I feel like that.
Was that after?
I feel like that 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was so chaotic before I left for Arkansas that I don't know. It was kind of, there was a lot going on. So I feel like we were more relaxed when we both got back. So I would say that.
At this point in our lives right now,
Yep.
I think I would say our wedding or our marriage day. We didn't have a wedding; it was a marriage day.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Riding that horse and.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That was a fun night. It really was. Yeah, that's a tough one.
That was. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. That was a good night.
I mean, walking back from the restaurant, I was on crutches. Like, that's another story. We'll tell that another time.
Yeah, crazy story.
So.
But
those were our 2 questions.
Do you have an answer for this?
Well, I said calling my mom and like FaceTiming with her. Well, we don't FaceTime, but like the video chat stuff.
Oh, so like video chat?
Yeah, I think video chat, especially from a phone. Like, I think that they would be like grabbing the phone and trying to figure out how I fit my mom in the phone.
Yeah, or you'd probably be burned as a witch.
No, I'd be burned as a woman who people tried to accuse for being a witch.
Or
they didn't burn witches.
Were the only person,
they burned women.
If they were the only person who was brought back, then I don't know. So I don't know. I think it would be crazier to try to take technology back 100 years ago. You'd for sure be like stoned and beaten, and like people would freak out. Yeah. Because so you know how people ask the question, like, if you could go back in time, how would you make your millions? I feel like you would just get killed. If I went back 150 years ago, 200 years ago, people would just take one look at me and they would be like, we got to get rid of this guy. First of all, what happened here? Is this alien abduction? Is this what happened? Yeah. So, crazy to think about. Anyway, guys, that's our questions. Our first question was, what happened regularly that would horrify a person from 100 years ago? Make sure to answer this question. Put it down in the comments. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we just didn't even think about. So put that in the comments. Question 2.
You have to relive one day of your life forever. Which day do you choose?
And guys, that's Freedom Friday. I hope you enjoyed our little mini story that we shared with you guys at the beginning of the video. And I hope that this week for you guys was successful. I hope that those goals got taken care of and that y'all were progressive. And I will see y'all Monday for Maintenance Monday. Go ahead and think about the things that you want to achieve next week so that when we make those goals, it's just an easier process. And before we get off of here, remember, even if you don't realize it, even if you don't believe it, there's a warrior in every single one of you, and we see it. Make sure to throw me a like, and if you're enjoying this content, subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys.